Well, 13 March every year we celebrate World Sleep Day. The World Sleep Day is designed to raise the awareness of sleep as human privilege that is often compromised by the habits of modern life. The theme of World Sleep Day 2020 is Better Sleep, Better Life and Better Planet. Well, we have with us Dr. Vishweshwaran, the consultant interventional pulmonology and sleep medicine from Yashoda Hospitals, Malakpet. Welcome, doctor.
Yeah, thank you.
Doctor, on this World Sleep Day, can you tell me the importance of sleep?
So, as we all know that we have 24 hours in a day, and in that 16 hours of the day we spend in all our day-to-day activities, and so only 8 hours in the night we go into a state of sleep, which is a state of rest for the body. So during this 8 hours of the sleeping time is when all your body process undergoes reparative and restorative mechanism. So any problem that occurs during this 8 hours of sleep will invariably affect your day-to-day activities. Because for example, if you don't sleep properly in the night, your efficiency in the daytime will come down. So just like any other physical and personal hygiene we have, like exercising, taking care of foods, it is of utmost importance that we give enough importance to our sleep practices and sleep hygiene so that we can work more efficiently for the 16 hours of the day, having an adequate 8 hours of proper and a normal sleep. So that is the importance of sleep.
Okay, how common are sleep disorders?
Various studies has been conducted in Indian population, and they have found out that at least 17% of the population have some sort of sleep alteration in their sleep habits which are pathological. So of that, around 10% of the population are found to have what we call as an obstructive sleep apnea. Apart from that, there are many other forms of sleep problems, like one sleep deprivation, or patient can have abnormal leg movements during sleep, or patient can have circadian rhythm disorders, or patient can have what we commonly say as patient is not able to sleep or maintain sleep, which is called as the insomnia. And this not only affects the elderly population, it can also affect your children, wherein they manifest as attention deficit hyperkinetic disorder, like the child will not be having an attention focus and it may impair their physical and mental health. So almost 17% of our entire population are affected, and it is a very big number, and it is of utmost importance that we give enough emphasis on the sleep related problems and address it to it in a proper and an efficient way.
Okay, doctor, tell us, what is healthy sleep look like?
So healthy sleep effectively consists of two types of sleep. One we call it as the NREM sleep, that is the non-rapid eye movement sleep, and other one is called as the REM sleep, which is the rapid eye movement sleep. So generally each cycle lasts for roughly around 15 to 20 minutes, and the entire cycle lasts for around 90 to 100 minutes. And for an effective sleep, we require at least 8 hours of sleep per day, because we need at least 5 cycles of this non-REM and NREM sleep. And only the stages of N3 sleep and REM sleep are considered to be the deep stages of sleep, wherein actually your reparative mechanism and the neuronal synapses are found to occur. So it is of utmost importance that we understand the physiological mechanisms of the sleep, so that we can effectively treat the sleep disorders.
Okay, can you tell us some healthy sleep habits?
So there are few healthy sleep habits which we can follow as we do for our personal hygiene. So one of the most important things is, like, you should try to avoid all your caffeinated drinks by noon, so that you don't carry those caffeinated drinks into the evenings. Second thing is, if at all you are planning for an exercise, finish at least 2 hours before you go off to sleep. And third thing is, the most important thing is, your bed should be used only for sleeping and for having sex. So you should not bring your multimedia like cell phones, mobile phones, or even your laptops into the bed, so that it doesn't disrupt your sleep. And every day try to wake up at the same time and avoid keeping repeated alarms for which you keep on snoozing it. So try to avoid that, and generally take light dinner before you go to sleep, and try to avoid excessive lighting and loud noises prior to sleep. These are few tricks which we can adopt in our day-to-day practice, so that we can make our sleep much more efficient.
Doctor, tell us, what is insomnia?
Insomnia is difficulty in initiating sleep, or you are not able to maintain sleep, or you wake up so early and cannot get back to your sleep, and you are chronically deprived of a proper sleep, which starts affecting your day-to-day practice as evidenced by lethargy or tiredness or difficulty in completing your task at work or reduction in your physical or mental efficiency, then it needs evaluation. So insomnia can be broadly classified into two major types. One is your acute insomnia, which occurs maybe related to a particular stress event, and generally it resolves once the stress event gets disappeared. But however, there can be patients who can have chronic insomnia, which can have an inciting factor and a perpetuating factor, and it can continue for a long time. So there are many other types of insomnia which may be in the form of a psychosocial insomnia, paradoxical insomnia, idiopathic insomnia, insomnia related to the medicines, insomnia related to the drugs and other medical conditions. So a proper evaluation of all these factors are essential before we start treating these patients with a particular drug.
Doctor, many people complain about snoring. Is it normal or abnormal?
So when snoring is not associated with any complications like diabetes or a hypertension or underlying obstructive sleep apnea, then it is called as a primary snoring. This may be, for example, you are having a nose obstruction because of your seasonal flu, then it may be normal. But studies have found out that people who continuously snore, that they snore for at least more than 50% of their sleep time, these patients are found to have a higher risk of cardiovascular events, adverse cardiovascular events like heart attack and atherosclerosis. What we call as the blood vessels in the body gets affected. So snoring is maybe a primary indicator that some serious problem is occurring in your body. So whenever you see a person continuously snoring, or snoring is associated with any other complications like diabetes or a hypertension or a heart problem, then it may be the first sign that you have to consult a sleep specialist and undergo a formal evaluation, because if you correct at this state, you may prevent further adverse effects secondary to your underlying sleep related problems.
Doctor, what are the treatments we have in Yashoda hospitals for sleep disorders?
In Yashoda, we have a dedicated state-of-art sleep lab, which is called as the level 1 polysomnography, which is attended by a trained sleep technician. Apart from that, we have other facilities like treatment for insomnia and usage of machines like the CPAP devices, NIV devices, and other surgical options like tonsillectomies, adenoidectomies, and others, which can cater to the benefit of the patients who are having sleep-related disorders.
Well, how is this going to benefit for the hospital?
So having said that, we have so much of advancements in the sleep-related diagnostics and treatment. How is it going to really benefit the patient is of utmost importance. Studies have found out that the properly correcting this obstructive sleep apnea may lead to improvement in their glycemic control, that is, they can have a better sugar controls or blood pressure control. It may avoid them from having adverse cardiac events like arrhythmias or patient landing up in heart failures, and it may improve their day-to-day activities, increasing their efficiency, and it may help to avoid snoring, thereby it preventing your partner from getting affected from your snoring, and it may lead to an overall well-being of the patient. So it is of utmost importance that we address to this problem in a very methodical and a proper way, so that we can benefit the patient in the best possible way.
Thank you so much, Doctor, for joining with us.
Thank you, ma'am.